What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the den. I am your host, Ed Honcho. Glad you could join me. Make sure whenever you watch this video, we go live every single night, 10 p.m. Central to midnight. Feel free to join us. You can call in, share your thoughts on the topics of the evening on the den line. There's always so much to discuss. Thank you for everybody who has, recently joined and recently subscribed and just been an active participant. Man, I appreciate that so much. But let's get into this story because this is kind of a follow-up to a story I did about a month ago. And I think a lot of people, I've started to see that video get some growth because people are kind of trying to get an idea about it. Some people agree, some people disagree. But hey, this is the best conversation on the internet, social commentary from a realistic perspective. And y'all gotta understand what commentary means. I'm commenting on the news. So first, you guys, if you're not familiar, Muhlaysia Booker is a transgender who got attacked in Dallas about a little over a month ago. And there was a lot of commotion, a lot of uproar about the attack because of things that happened, after that. So if you saw the video, I'll let you make your own judgments. You can go watch the prior video. It says it's called Transgender Fender Bender. It started off with a hit and run and then turned and it escalated into a greater situation. And I think I provide some alternative perspectives outside of, it's just a transgender who got attacked for being a transgender, because I don't believe that's exactly what happened. But this story has taken a very unfortunate turn, and Muhlaysia Booker is now dead. Now, we don't know, any facts have kind of not come out that have said that these two incidents were related. There's so many different perspectives that you could come with that, but let's kind of get into these articles, and I'm share a couple of articles with you, and kind of give you the national narratives getting pushed, and I'll give you my thoughts on that as we go along. I'm not gonna read them word for word, but we'll just we'll touch on them, and then I'll add my piece to them as we go along. So it says, New York Times, transgender woman who was attacked in Dallas last month has been found dead. And I haven't really read through the article, so we'll see what they're saying, and then I'll kind of give you my spiel on what I think it is. This is from a couple of days ago. It said a woman was attacked in Dallas parking lot in April. Cell phone footage showed the episode made the national headlines. Police investigated as a possible hate crime. Now, I don't know if they ever identified it as a hate crime. Personally, I didn't think it was a hate crime because, again, if you watch that video, there was a lot of aggressive posturing by Booker before anything popped off, before anything jumped off. And then prior to that, Booker was involved in a hit and run. And again, if you get in a hit and run with anybody, and especially if a person who's aggressive enough to try to chase you down, it's going to usually end up in an altercation, or it could get physical, or it's going to be a very tense situation. So apparently a gun was pulled and some other stuff happened. Now, that led to a gentleman, I believe his name was Edward Thomas, attacking Booker. It was a sneak attack, which is some whole shit. And then that whole little community ended up, not the whole community, but a lot of dudes from that community ended up stomping Booker, and it was uncalled for, but I'll tell you kind of my thoughts on that. But a month later, Sunday, Dallas Police Department announced that Booker, 23, had been shot and killed, and some people say 22, some people say 23, and this is what killed me with the news. When you get news from different outlets, the numbers are all skewed. Said no evidence linking the killing to the earlier attack, and that's what a lot of people were doing. A lot of people came to that old video, mad at me. I didn't do it. But there's no link to that. I mean, this could have been a whole different situation. Who knows? And that's why I say we need to wait until facts come out. Said shortly before 7 a.m. on Saturday, identity was confirmed on Sunday, lying face down in the street, deceased from homicidal violence, which is terrible. Said that they added Edward Thomas, that was his name. Man who was arrested after he was filmed repeatedly punching Booker last month, no longer police custody, but there was no indication that he was linked to the killing. So again, it could be a completely different outcome. Last month, it was April 12th when it happened, involved an automobile accident. The parking lot, notice how they don't say it was a hit and run, because that's what it was. Booker hit somebody and then tried to get away with it. Video of the episode showed a man authorities identified as Mr. Thomas repeatedly punching Booker. Other men on the crowd kicked Booker before a group of women helped Booker get away. Now, I don't believe in the jumping shit, get your one-on-one, catch a square, whatever it may be. There was a lot of, again, like I said, a lot of aggressive posturing, a lot of hand waving, a lot of, to the entire crowd that was out there. If you come from certain communities and you know how these certain actions usually end up. And again, I'm not saying it's justified. Hey, if you want to do something, catch the one, shoot the fair one, and then, do what you do. But all the other niggas jumping in, there's a whole different situation. Said that people shouted anti-gay slurs, and we'll get into that. Booker's friend Jessica Anderson said that the April attack was the one captured on video. It's not the first time Booker had been targeted and actually attacked multiple different things. Okay. Tired of getting beat down, tired of not being able to be who they wanted to be. Attacks on transgender people have been rising. According to advocacy groups, at least 26 people were killed in the United States last year, so that's slightly over 2 a month. Most of them black transgender. 5 transgender people were killed in 2019, including Booker. So that's 5. What is this, May, almost the end of May, so about 1 a month. Okay, and I don't know what the numbers are. People who identify as trans or not, I don't know what they label in that group. You know, because it's such a vague thing. I don't really understand it completely, but you know, we'll kind of get to that in a second. Numbers may understate the problem. You know, officials are not reported to report such killing in the central database. Sometimes release incorrect names, genders. And again, so I'm not the only one confused. Said wanted Booker to be remembered as a devoted friend who encouraged Anderson's work as a makeup artist, got dressed to take pictures when Anderson couldn't make it to prom, and walked miles to the Texas heat to sit next to Anderson at her father's funeral. Okay. Had a heart of gold, didn't want to experience this tragic stuff, wanted everyone to pay attention to the injustice. News conference said after Booker was attacked last month, Booker stood on the podium, faced a group of supporters, several carried signs in support of transgender people. Anderson had done Booker's makeup that morning. Been a rough week for myself, the transgender community in the city of Dallas. This time I can stand before you, whereas in other scenarios we're at a memorial. And it's unfortunate now because that is what it's become. That is exactly what it's become. Now, I'm looking at this, 6:30, I think they said in the morning when they assumed the attack took place. I don't think it was a justified killing, because if it was an attack, it was a fight. If Booker was attacking somebody or doing something of that nature, you know, I'm sure police would have been called. It wouldn't have just been a body found. I'm sure that it could have probably taken place, you know, more earlier than that. And so, although I may not agree with the lifestyle, I may not agree with the behaviors and things of that nature, it is unfortunate. It is unjust. It's not right for anybody to have their lives taken from them for, you know, unnecessary stuff. You know, I try to believe in a sensible society, and just because you don't agree with somebody doesn't mean that you should be attacking them, doesn't mean that you should be, you know, physically attacking them, that you should be, you know, inciting violence against them. Those are things that I don't condone. I believe in conversation, I believe in exchange of thoughts and ideas, I believe in free speech. You should be able to say what you want to say, whether I agree or disagree with you. And if you don't know about the den, that's what we do. You know, my thing is, you have to let people be themselves. You don't have to agree with who they are. Let them be themselves. Avoid them if you don't really want to fuck with them. You know, it is kind of what it is. But it's unfortunate that this has happened. Kind of jump over to Dallas news, and I'll make sure to include these articles in the links. So if you want to check them out for yourself, kind of read it for yourself, you can do what you do. Police offer no new details Monday about the fatal shooting. Family and friends try to focus on the life before a brutal beating. Face of the struggle to protect trans people from violence. About a month after the attack, sparked demands for justice for transgender people and their allies. No evidence tying the man charged in April to Booker's death. Kind of running on the same stuff. Face down Saturday, Far East Dallas. And I'm wondering, because like I said, I'm assuming that where the beating took place is where, you know, Booker lived. And I don't know if that's considered Far East Dallas. Like I say, I've only been to Dallas a couple of times. You know, I'm based town. We're gonna be rocking with y'all up there in Dallas. And you take that how you want to. Says her father, Pierre Booker, hasn't eaten since he got the news. Sister Quan Booker said Monday after a brief phone call. See, now here they're saying 22 years old. The other article said 23, but said they're mourning Booker's death. Preston Dupree described himself as a mentor. That's interesting. Was honest, no matter how you looked at it, had a backbone, stood up for what she believed. She remained resilient even after highly publicized assault on Booker. Saddened to see Booker go so soon. And this is kind of going back on the attack, you know, Oak Cliff, in East Oak Cliff. So I'm assuming these are different areas where it would happen. And that's why I say it's going to be interesting to see exactly what took place with this whole situation. Booker had a broken wrist, left with a concussion. It was a bad beating. It was unjustified. There was no reason for all them dudes to jump in. I'm sure there's a lot of underlying motives as to why they jumped in and everything else that took place. And that's not on the up and up, you know, and dudes, whatever, you know, that's what they got to deal with. Let's see, there's other suspects were named in his arrest warrant, including the one who was accused of stomping Booker's face. Neither have been arrested. Ongoing investigation declined to comment whether 3 suspects identified in the affidavit have been interviewed. And, you know, it just kind of goes on to say that, you know, friends and family are, who were, I guess, you know, supporters, saying that it's been a lot of hate. Teens are ruthless, you know, looking forward, was happy. Protection needed now more than ever. Hey man, I don't think, you know, this is Texas, you know. Second Amendment rights, I don't think they exclude, you know, transgender people. If you feel like this kind of violence is going on, you got to protect yourself. I'm with that. You know, and it's going on to talk about other transgender incidents that have taken place. You know, it's very unfortunate. I think Dallas has had a couple. I think there was a Hispanic transgender that got killed in Dallas recently. So that's unfortunate. Talk about Beto O'Rourke, you know, trans women of color in Texas and across America deserve better. Justice must be served, you know. I don't know. Again, that's just kind of the gist of it. But again, like I said, you know, this is an unfortunate situation. I don't condone violence against anybody, whether I agree with their lifestyle or not. You know, I do my best to try to understand. Doesn't mean that I'm going to agree with. You know, I like to let people have their piece. I like to let people speak their minds. So that's why, hey, if you agree or disagree with this video, man, you come through the den tonight at 10. You can call in. Maybe you have more information. Maybe you are more aware with the situation, that there's details that you can share. Maybe you are maybe closer to this community with more details that you can share. But with that being said, that's just kind of a brief update. What I wanted to say is that, you know, if you go catch that old video and you're sitting there talking about, oh, I'm hating on this, I just have my own particular set of beliefs. This person lived their life the way they wanted to live it. I had no control over that. I did not incite violence against this person. I'm not phobic of anything. I just don't agree. I'm not going to hate them. I'm not going to undermine them. I'm not going to be an ally, but I'm not going to try to do anything negative towards those type of people. So with that being said, I appreciate you checking out the video. Again, live every night, 10 p.m. Make sure you come through. Make sure you like and sub if you like the video. And I appreciate all the love, all the recent love that's been coming in as of late. You know, hey, but y'all be cool like y'all be cool. I'll catch y'all later. It's Ed Honcho, and I'm out.